Well guys, spring has sprung, and I think it's a beautiful day to get out and hit the farm. All right guys, so we are out here behind the Regal 16 in Winrock with Katie Getz and the New Mexico Department of Agriculture, and we are talking about urban farming. So before we get into this, define urban farming for us. What does that mean?
So you kind of just defined it when you talked about this farm being located right behind the movie theater.
Okay.
It is literally taking a farm, which we tend to think of as being, sort of far-flung in rural America, broad countryside. It's bringing that to an urban landscape. We've got residential properties on this side, commercial properties on that side. Right here is a nice plot of land on which fruit trees are being grown, lavender, sage, garlic even. So this space right here produced, this and a couple of others within the Winrock property, produced about 500 pounds of food last year.
No kidding.
On 1/16 of an acre, that's the size of a large home for some people.
That is amazing.
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
we're not talking about a huge footprint here. So let's talk about some of the challenges and also some of the benefits of doing urban farming.
Sure. So one of the challenges is finding the space to do it in, right? And someone got creative and saw that the space was available and made it happen here. Water's always going to be a challenge in New Mexico. It's just the nature of doing things in the desert, so you've got to be judicious with that resource. Obvious benefit is that so many people are hungering for local food and really willing to support something so cool as urban farming. So meeting that demand is a further challenge, but again, that's opportunity right there for
So now you said here in Winrock, we've got a couple of locations that we're growing, but overall throughout the city, do we have multiple locations for urban farming?
There are others. More and more we're hearing that there are urban farms popping up. And so we know that because of the increased attention and interest in local agriculture, that's a story that's going to continue.
Okay, so it's a growing population here in Albuquerque. Now, if someone out there, as you said, we're growing a lot of food here for local, keeping it, farm to table. If we want to purchase some of these goods, some of the produce that's grown here, where do we do it?
Great question. So oftentimes you can find these folks at the local farmers market. You may even find that they are selling on site at their farm.
Okay.
Others will take their produce and sell it through maybe a local restaurant, part of the farm to table movement. And other times there will be what we call CSAs, community supported agriculture, where people will go and actually purchase a share of that farm's production in order to receive it at the end of the season and throughout harvesting during that season. So there's no kind of one-size-fits-all approach to urban farming. Lots of people doing creative things on their own and doing what works for them and their customers.
Yeah, and it sounds really great. I mean, on all sides of it, whether or not you're a customer or if you want to be a grower, which leads me to my last question. If we are interested at home, we want to get into this urban farming, learn more about it. How do we do that? Sure.
There are several resources out there, and rather than mention them all here within a single conversation, people can call us at the New Mexico Department of Agriculture, and we'll point them in whatever direction they need to go with their specific question. Now, if you're like me, you want to support local farmers who are already in the business, local ranchers as well. So for those instances, what you want to do is log on to our website. It's newmexicotradition.com. And there you can find a bevy of food and beverage producers throughout the state, not just people producing fresh produce like we're seeing here is going to be coming up soon, but also processed products like salsas, honeys, cheeses, and things like that.
So for more information on urban farming here in Albuquerque and NewMexicoTradition.com, head over to casa.com.